AEW Winter is Coming review. Was this the best weekly television show in AEW history? I think there's a strong case for it. Welcome to SCW here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now. Leave any comments in the comments section and please like and share the video as well. There are three major talking points from this show. We've got a brand new AEW World Champion in Kenny Omega. We potentially could have an AEW versus Impact Wrestling Invasion storyline, which for me is epic. I'm a big fan of both promotions, and the idea of them working together just for me is exciting overall. I tell you, I cannot wait to dive into this topic on this particular video right here. And last but not least, Sting debuts in AEW. The first time Sting is on TNT in nearly 20 years. I will be going in detail on that and getting your thoughts as well from Twitter. We'll be giving you shout outs in the video as well. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Let's go straight diving into the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royale. And I must say, what a cleverly booked battle royal this was, because all storylines that are going on linked together were played throughout this battle royal. The fact that we still have Sean Spears and Scorpio Sky at each other's throats and one can't see the other win here. The fact that the Dark Order are trying to recruit Hangman Page and made the save for Hangman when he was thrown out the first time before he was eliminated later in the match just added a nice little twist and dynamic. And one thing I really loved was the three members of the Inner Circle playing the old famous NWO card from World War III battle royals of the past, just standing in the corner, not getting involved in the action, just being united as a front, because who's going to attack three guys at once? They just played that card and waited for their moment to get involved in the match. Just thought it was very cleverly done. This was a very good battle royale, and of course it was a point where Kip Sabian was thrown out of the battle royal himself. He took Orange Cassidy to the floor, beat him up. Miro got involved on the action as well. Miro come back into the ring, eliminating about 4 competitors in very quick succession. This left him and Jungle Boy left in the action, and all of the members of the Inner Circle. This was the time the Inner Circle got involved themselves. 3-on-1 managed to throw Miro out of the match, and just when it looked like that Jungle Boy was going to get some offense on the 3 members of the Inner Circle, Sammy Guevara was on the top rope with Jungle Boy. MJF throwing Jungle Boy out of the ring from the top rope, but of course that eliminated Sammy Guevara as well. This of course made a lot of upset and uproar from Sammy Guevara. Of course only 2 people could finish this battle royale as technically the victors of the battle royale, because they go to a one-on-one match to see who wins the Dynamite Diamond Ring next week. But what was forgotten, Orange Cassidy was still on the floor. He was brought into the ring by Wardlow, but of course Wardlow was eventually eliminated by Orange Cassidy, so it isn't 2 members in the Inner Circle against each other. MJF will be taking on Orange Cassidy next week. The Inner Circle, are they on the same page? It felt like they started on the same page at the start of this show, but very quickly as we go into the second match, we realise they're not on the same page. Chris Jericho was victorious over Frankie Kazarian. He did have Jake Hager and Ortiz with him on the floor side area, but he was in a submission hold for a long time. It looked like, I believe it was some sort of Boston Crab, maybe it was a sharpshooter, does escape the brain right this second. But MJF coming out looking like he was going to throw the towel in, almost like how it was with Cody not so long ago. If you remember back to, I believe it was Full Gear 2019, he did that action. Sammy Guevara was having none of it, come running out once again, took the towel off of MJF. Chris Jericho managing to pick up the victory with the Judas effect, but of course chaos after the match once again. This lot are not getting on, especially with Sammy Guevara and MJF. That is the real spark to the flame here between these two. But Chris Jericho, he's had enough of the friction already. It's not taken so long, and he says, look, we're either all going to work together or the Inner Circle is done, and we will find out next week. And the beautiful part of that is next week, will the Inner Circle even be still together by the time MJF tries to win that Dynamite, diamond ring for the second time? I have a feeling, just making a small prediction into that now, that Orange Cassidy is going to walk away with that ring. And I think that kind of makes sense as well when you look at it, because Orange Cassidy has had a great 2020. I mean, going back to his match with Pac at Revolution, he's been put over now by Chris Jericho at All Out. You kind of feel like he's missing something just to complete his year, and I think that this diamond ring would actually be the thing that he needs, because also it's not a championship belt, so he wouldn't have to have the laziness of putting a belt on or taking off each time he's got the ring. I don't know, this could be a fun little dynamic, the way they could make that gimmick work with him. So I think that could be some interesting booking. It could be a clever direction of what they could do with Orange Cassidy, as well as linking into the fallout of of what they're going to do with MJF and the Inner Circle. So very interesting. I'm thoroughly enjoying the whole direction of where this is going so far. Britt Baker picked up the victory against Layla Hirsch, which was quite nice, a nice submission-based match. Of course, the Doctor picking up the victory with her sort of mandible claw, Rings of Saturn-style submission that she has going on there to pick up the win. Thunder Rosa made the attack after the match, and I must just say, Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa, yes please. I cannot wait for these two to be put in a match together. I just think that it will be epic. But referees doing the classic pull apart with these two. It felt as well that with Reba as well and Layla, they were still getting involved. We could have a tag team match before we get the singles match. But again, I mean, we're building towards something for the future here. I like where it's going. We had Cody and Darby Allin pick up the victory over Team Taz. Of course, we had Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks, of course, actually representing Team Taz here. Was the coffin drop off the top rope, gave Darby Allin the pin over Ricky Starks. But really, the action here is what happens after the match, because Team Taz not having none of it. The attack continues on Cody and Darby Allin after the match. Dustin Rhodes comes to try and make the save, but is not successful. Neither is Arn Anderson, who's also being attacked. Brian Cage comes out to help Team Taz feel even stronger. And then the lights cut out. We get a lovely video package playing. Winter is coming, and it was just beautifully put together, and it actually revealed that we had a debutant coming into AEW, and of course Sting makes his debut into AEW. Team Taz fleeting away, Sting coming to the ring to literally face to face. I mean, with Arn Anderson, his face was a picture, the way it was put together, staring into Cody, perhaps staring into a dream match somewhere further down the line, staring longest into Darby Allin. Now, is that through the fact that maybe he wants a TNT Championship match, maybe he wants to represent TNT after 20 years, or maybe it could be an alignment, maybe he wants to be the mentor of Darby Allin going against Team Taz. There's lots of different directions that it could go, and it's very exciting, the fact that Sting is a part of AEW. And I'm quickly going to give my reasons why, and then I'm going to go into your Twitter comments before we go towards the main event. So for me, I think it's a shrewd bit of business here, because as JR and Tony Schiavone said, it's been like nearly 20 years since Sting has been on TNT. Sting is the icon. He is someone that has been synonymous with TNT, with WCW, all those years of history. And you just look at it and say that he will bring old viewers back, and you know, you want to take AEW to a higher level than what they're already at, because they're doing really well so far, but they don't want to just stop where they are. They want to go further forward. And the thing is, you can turn around and say that, well, this is an older guy, it could bury younger talent, that's not a good thing. And I would say, if you're going to bring back like that other company does with Goldberg and make him your top champion, yeah, that's a big mistake. That's not a good thing. But if Sting is coming in, going to elevate one or two of your talents, maybe have one or two dream matches, maybe Cody versus Sting would be an awesome match to have, you know, from a dream match perspective at Revolution. Maybe if he's helping, you know, elevate stars like Darby Allin to the next level, that would be quite cool to see. And the fact that he's such, you know, a synonymous name with TNT, a big time wrestling name, some of these old school fans that have tuned off, are not interested in WWE, haven't quite yet given AEW a go. If they hear Sting is there, they might just want to come and check it out, because that's what that other company does when they bring Goldberg in. It's the popper rating. And Sting can do that for AEW. And I'm sure that AEW want to become that company that's not just, you know, had that 1 week where they hit the million viewerships. They want to do it on a weekly, consistent basis. They want it to become millions. And this is just one piece of the puzzle of what they're looking to do here. And I think it's a shrewd bit of business. I think that this could be proper exciting from an AEW perspective. But without knowing just my point of view, I did promise that I would get Twitter's point of view. Now, I've got a number of people to give reference to here, so do stick around. As well, coming up after that, we'll be talking about the AEW Championship match with John Moxley and Kenny Omega. But first, your Twitter responses. And the first one, Vigilante, saying, I saw his whole career in TNA and WCW, also now getting back in the ring. It's amazing. Imagine the dream matches. I can't describe in words. We need a book to describe our emotion, how happy we are. The Icon Sting, it's truly a classic legend for wrestling fans. Happy to see him return. I must say, there will be a lot of people feeling the same as you, Vigilante, and Dylan Ketchum seems to be one of them. Hell yeah, he says, Sting is a legend in this business that will elevate talent in all elite wrestling. And I do agree with you, if it's booked correctly, it will help elevate that talent. I think that this could be a good move. And Viking Warrior says the same, that he thinks it will be a good move for Sting and AEW. Jacob Grundy says it's awesome, and Jacob, I'm agreeing with you, my friend. I literally feel that we had stars in our eyes seeing him come to the ring, and Lisa Main seems to seem the same here with her emoji with those stars in her eyes there, and I'm pretty sure that's not an actual picture of her, though, I must say, but I love the picture reference there. It really shows the happiness that we do have that Sting is back. Shot of Wrestling, it's shocking to see. At the same time, though, really hope he doesn't wrestle again, which is nice because we do have a bit of balance there, because I'm sure Sting is long past his prime, so I will agree with you that the matches probably, even though they're dream matches, they probably do feel a bit like, well, they won't be as good in execution as maybe what they are on paper. But it would be nice to see Sting go out on his own terms, is what I would say, because Sting, obviously the last match he had was against Seth Rollins back at Clash of Champions 2015. That's not the way he wants to go out. I'd like to see him go on his own terms. I mean, Edge, of course, managed to make his return earlier this year. Sting seems to have the all clear. If he can do 1 or 2 matches, and I'm saying sparing matches, I'm not saying he has a full in-ring career on Dynamite every single week. If he has a few matches, a chance to close that chapter, he can maybe bring a few fans in that weren't watching before. We have some, exciting matches that we can look forward to. Perhaps the likes of, Kenny Omega, Cody, John Moxley. There could be some exciting matches. Maybe Darby Allin himself. Team Taz. There's lots of different ideas and great matches that could be done. It would be just nice to see if he'll have that time. Just have a way he can go to the sunset the way he wants to. Kath actually says that hell yeah, Sting, vast experience, will sure elevate new talent in AEW. And like you said, experience is a key factor there, because obviously word of mouth goes a long way. What a great head that you could go and talk to in the locker room if you're one of these young emerging talents on AEW Dark, or someone that's just been doing this a few years. You can never learn. Never stop learning, what's going on in the world of whatever you're doing. And I'm sure wrestlers will go up to Sting, ask for advice, because he's been one of the biggest stars to ever do it, of course. WCW was a massive company in the 90s, and there was a time they were kicking WWE's butts every single week. And I'm watching some classic WCW on the network right now, and of course the classic Sting and Hogan feud from 97 was absolutely epic. I've not got to Starrcade yet, but that there's a lot of experience, like you said, that it can be passed on to these younger talents that they can benefit with in time. And last but not least, we've got Aaron Bledsoe there, and says that I'm honestly wondering how they will use him, and I'm assuming he'll be more of a producer, and maybe he'll just have a match here and there, but we'll see soon enough. And of course, like you said, a producer role as well could be there also, because like you say, he has things he can help with. He's got that vast experience, and not necessarily about telling performers how they can work, but maybe he could help backstage of putting things together. He's been there through the most successful times in wrestling, so a producer role would be great as well. So there's lots of different avenues we could do. I thank Twitter for your feedback, honestly, some great suggestions there, a lot of excitement it feels overall there. I'm very happy that Sting is there. Like I say, I did a video, 15 talents that AEW need to sign, and Sting was one of them, and I thought it was a controversial pick at the time, but I think that a lot of people seem very positive with the idea that he's there. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We will see soon enough. Sting will speak next week with Tony Schiavone. I guarantee that is going to be a big ratings pull next week for AEW. That's one thing I will say now, why I think this is a great move. One other great move done in the show, in fact 2 more great moves done in this show. Let's talk about the World Championship match, Jon Moxley against Kenny Omega. How clever this was put together. We've seen Don Callis make a few appearances, the Impact executive producer, on commentary for big Kenny Omega matches recently. In fact, Full Gear was probably the last time we saw him when Omega faced Hangman Page. He was there again. So subtle, so used to it, kind of, well, what's the point? Why is Don continually there? We found out in this show, but the fact it had been done so spread out in different places here and there, it became almost part of the norm. The fact that you just kind of accepted he was there and not realising that maybe he just might have a bigger part to play. We got into the match with these two, and let's just say it was physical. It was, it was a lengthy match between the two, a great championship encounter. Going towards the end of the match, we had like a paradigm shift done outside to like one of the heaters things on the outside, which Kenny Omega was left on the floor. This caused concern, referees checking on him, Moxley being pushed backwards, can't, go near Kenny Omega, and this brought Don Callis to ringside. He was very visually distraught seeing how Kenny Omega was, and they said that the side of his head had gone against this, needed to be checked out by doctors. Moxley was having none of it, threw Omega back into the ring, looked like he was throwing a lot of physical hits there on top of Omega, and Don Callis, to his credit, picked up a microphone, saying in the microphone, we need to get him more medical attention. Omega, he's hurt. The referee there, taking distraction. Omega somehow is past the microphone from Don Callis, uses it as a weapon to bust open Jon Moxley. We've got 4 V-triggers later and a 1-winged angel, and we've got a brand new AEW World Champion in Kenny Omega. This was a very good match, and it was a shocking finish. But what was even more shocking was the fallout that came from it, because instead of seeing Don Callis celebrating with his friend in the ring and just saying, well, we've screwed Jon Moxley over, it wasn't just Jon Moxley that's been screwed over here. It was AEW, because Kenny Omega is, seen as one of the people that's put everything together. He was pulled backstage from Don Callis immediately from the ringside area. Tony Khan visibly upset with Don Callis' involvement. A lot of talents in the back screaming their upsetness as well. They managed to escape from everybody, get straight to the car where they're going to leave the arena with the AEW World Championship. Alex Mendez comes up to him and says, well, what's going on here? When we're going to get the explanation of what was all about here. And, Don Callis says, you'll get your explanation next Tuesday. And, of course, Mendes says, well, next Tuesday? The Dynamite's on Wednesdays. Obviously, they're not going to do this on AEW Dark. No, they're going to do the explanation on Impact Wrestling. Impact on Access TV will get Kenny Omega, the new AEW World Champion, next week as an explanation. And this now throws an interesting appetite of the fact that we could have AEW and Impact Wrestling not just working together as a partnership. We could get an invasion storyline between the two companies, which for me throws out many potential dream matches, and already going at it on Twitter. FTR wanting to get in there with the Motor City Machine Guns, want to face the North, and as well as that, we've got the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks as well already going at it on Twitter. There's some women's matches that would be interested to see. What about Deonna Purrazzo in there with Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa, or there's just so many potentials. And at a time when Impact Wrestling as well, there's rumours that a couple of their talents contracts are coming up. Maybe that might be an incentive for them to want to stick around, because, hell, you're going to be involved here in a great storyline with Impact versus AEW. A chance to be on Dynamite to bring viewers, to Impact Wrestling, and also from Impact Wrestling viewers to be with Dynamite. It's almost like one big happy family against WWE. With the rumours as well of starting using clips from New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. Could we see all 3 of these going to work together in 2021? It would be interesting and it would be exciting. It's something I really cannot wait to see play out. And for me, I think that this potentially could be one of the biggest moments in modern wrestling history. And we've seen Don Callis as well on Twitter. AEW screwed AEW. It's almost like a Montreal Screwjob style storyline. I love it. I think it's very cleverly done. And when Tony Khan just recently come out and said that we've changed the game and things are going to change, and people were disappointed because we just got packed back on that week. It's a few weeks later. Sting is in the house. We've got Kenny Omega on top of his game, the new world champion, and now he's going to be on Impact Wrestling next week, and Don Callis, and we could have AEW working together with Impact, but of course perhaps in some form of invasion storyline. Times are exciting. Christmas has come early for AEW fans, and going into 2021, AEW feels like it's a very healthy company going in the right direction. And for me, there's no debate right now. This is the most exciting thing going on in all of wrestling right now. AEW and Impact are where I will be focusing a lot of my excitement towards in the coming weeks in the world of professional wrestling. So that's my opinion there on AEW Dynamite. Winter is coming, and I will say to you, I think that this is the best TV wrestling show in years. I really do. I think that this is the best Dynamite up to now. The Winter is Coming special, and of all the wrestling, it's definitely the best show I've seen for a long time. There's a lot of big talking points that have come out of this. For me, this feels like it was a 10 out of 10 show. From start to finish, there's things happening all throughout the show. Look, we've even got some little bits that I've not mentioned there for what we're building towards for next week with, the Young Bucks and the Hybrid 2, which will be a tag team match booked for next week. And, that should be quite exciting when it comes around. But for this week, the big talking points, definitely Kenny Omega, your brand new world champion. Jon Moxley will want his revenge. Impact versus AEW feels mega exciting. Has Kenny Omega even defected in the storyline to Impact Wrestling? And here's another thing. Impact have a special called Final Resolution next Saturday. Will Kenny Omega be appearing on that show as the AEW World Champion? Who's to say it couldn't happen? There's Hard to Kill not long after. This could go a long way, and I'm really excited to see where this is going to go. I'm going to stop talking now, though, because I think I could go on for hours talking about how excited I'm about this, but I want your thoughts in the comments below. I look forward to interacting with you. What did you think of AEW Winter is Coming? I thought it was an awesome show, and I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below, whether you agree or if you disagree. I'd like to know all your opinions about the show, and like I say, I can't wait to interact. Please like, share, subscribe. Near 700 subscribers on YouTube. Would love to hit that milestone. Have yourselves a great day. I'll see you next time. And if you are a fan of NXT, I have done an NXT War Games predictions video, which will be coming on the channel later today, so keep an eye out for that. The Q&A will be coming up as well this weekend, so make sure to keep an eye out for that as well. That'll be dropping on Sunday. Have yourselves a good one. I'll see you next time. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube.